Hello everyone. Have you ever felt so tired and frustrated with a problem that you just feel like you want to give up? Well, English has a perfect phrase for that exact feeling. Today, we're going to learn all about the idiom "at the end of your rope." Understanding this will really help you express that feeling and understand native speakers a lot better.
English idioms can be pretty confusing, can't they? When you first hear the words "at the end of your rope," you might start thinking about a real, actual rope. But, like a lot of idioms, what it really means might be a little bit of a surprise.
I want you to think about a time you felt totally overwhelmed. Maybe you were studying for a really hard test, or perhaps you were trying to fix something that just kept on breaking. That feeling, when you have absolutely no patience left, that's exactly what we are talking about today.
I'll never forget, I had a friend in school who was just surrounded by piles of books and papers. He looked so stressed, and he said to me, "I am at the end of my rope with all this homework." At that time, I really had no idea what he was talking about.
I was so confused. So, I actually looked around the room for a rope, and I asked him, "Where is the rope?" He just started laughing. It was a pretty funny mistake, but you know what? It was the perfect way for me to learn what this idiom really means. So as you can probably tell from my little story, we are not talking about a real rope at all. Let's dig in and find out what this idiom actually means.
So being at the end of your rope just means that you have no more patience left. You feel so frustrated by a situation that you just don't have any energy left to deal with it. It feels like you just can't keep going.
The idea behind this idiom is actually pretty easy to remember. Just think about an animal that's tied to a rope. When it walks and gets to the very end of that rope, it's stuck, right? It can't go any further. This phrase might have started way back in the 1600s. It really shows a simple feeling that people have understood for hundreds of years, no matter where they're from, that feeling of reaching your absolute limit.
All right, now that we know what it means, let's see how to use it the right way in a conversation. A quick story should help. Let's imagine a woman named Sarah. She's trying to plan a really nice party for her friend. But everything seems to be going wrong. First, the cake from the bakery is late. Then, all of a sudden, the music just stops working.
You can just imagine how Sarah feels, right? Completely stressed out. She has zero patience left for all of these problems. So when she tells her friend how she's feeling, she uses the idiom perfectly. She says, "I'm at the end of my rope."
Let's look at just a few more examples. A student who has been studying for days and days could say, "After studying for 3 days, I am at the end of my rope." Or a tired mother with loud children might be at the end of her rope. You can use it in just about any situation where you feel like you've lost all your patience.
Okay, here is a really common mistake that you want to avoid. It is so important to say whose rope it is. So you always have to add a word like my, your, or his. Instead of saying, "at the end of rope," you have to say, "I'm at the end of my rope."
So what's a good way to remember this idiom so you don't forget it? Let's look at a helpful memory tip, and then we'll check out some other phrases that have similar meanings.
Here is a really powerful way to remember the meaning. Just imagine that you are climbing a very long rope. When you finally get to the very top, to the end of it, you can't go any higher. You have no more rope left and you're just stuck. That feeling is exactly what "at the end of your rope" means.
Let's learn some new phrases, shall we? On the left side, you'll see phrases that mean something very similar. For example, "at my wit's end" also means you're super frustrated and you don't know what to do next. And on the right, we have opposites. So if you are very calm and not stressed at all, you are cool as a cucumber. And if you are just full of energy and so happy, you are full of beans.
Okay, so are you ready for a little challenge? It's time for a short quiz to see what you've learned. Don't worry, it'll be fun.
All right, here's the first question. If someone is at the end of their rope, how are they feeling? Is it A, happy and excited, B, frustrated and tired, or C, calm and relaxed? And the answer is B. They feel frustrated and tired. If you chose B, you got it right. Great job. Ready for question number 2? Now this one is about grammar, so look very carefully at the different choices on your screen. Which sentence is correct?
The correct sentence is C. He is at the end of his rope. Don't forget, we need to include the and a word like his. Excellent work if you got that one. Okay, just one last question for you, and this one is about a real-life situation. A boss might be at the end of her rope if an employee is, what do you think? A, always on time, B, doing great work, or C, always late? You got it. The correct answer is C. An employee who is always late would probably make a boss run out of patience. You did an excellent job on the quiz.
So let's just do a quick review of the most important things to remember. First, at the end of your rope means you have no more patience. Second, it's about a strong feeling, not a real physical rope. And finally, always remember to say my rope, your rope, or his rope.
And now it's your turn. Have you ever felt at the end of your rope? I'd love for you to try using this idiom in a sentence and share your own story in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's content, please like and follow. See you next time.